Genuinely never thought I'd see the day. Never thought I would see the day. Trump pardons Silk Road dark web market creator Ross Ulbricht. Ross Ulbricht is now free. There was pictures of him even leaving the prison with his little like house plant and stuff like that. He's out. He's free. US President Donald Trump says he has signed a full and unconditional pardon for Ross Ulbricht, who operated Silk Road, the dark web marketplace where illegal drugs were sold. Ulbricht was convicted in 2015 in New York in a narcotics and money laundering conspiracy and sentenced to life in prison. You probably, just in case, you probably have seen the Mad Lad video that we did on Ross Ulbricht and how he got caught and how two undercover feds next to him, a man and a woman, had like a domestic that got a little bit heated, and when Ross went to intervene, that's when they grabbed him, and then other agents grabbed his laptop, and that was how he was caught. And there was also a lot of lies going around about stuff that Ross was involved in, which I'll do at the end. Trump championed Ulbricht's case, joining libertarians who said the conviction was an example of government overreach. On Tuesday, he said he had called Ulbricht's mother to inform her that he had granted a pardon to her son. Silk Road, which was shut down in 2013 after police arrested Ulbricht, sold illegal drugs using Bitcoin as well as hacking equipment and stolen passports. Ulbricht was found guilty of charges including conspiracy to commit drug trafficking, money laundering, and computer hacking. Sorry, I've still got this bloody flu. During his trial, prosecutors said Ulbricht's website, hosted on the hidden dark web, sold more than $200 million worth of drugs anonymously. Prosecutors said he also solicited 6 murders for hire. Nope, he didn't. There was no evidence of that whatsoever. None of those charges stuck. Right, and also that's not true because during his trial, prosecutors didn't even bring that up. That was just a rumour that started after it. None of that was real. And this is the biggest pet peeve that people have with my video. Oh, you didn't talk about that. It's because it didn't happen. And like prosecutors didn't even mention that during the trial. They didn't even go down that route. And the feds wanted to nail him to a cross. So basically, if there was any evidence of that whatsoever, holy shit, they would have used it. They would have been screaming that for the heavens, because you would have got more time for that than the drug trafficking. But it was never mentioned during the trial, so that's actually completely wrong. Including one against a former Silk Road employee, though they said no evidence existed that any killings were actually carried out. No evidence existed that fucking he was trying to plan them anyway. The scum that worked to convict him were some of the same lunatics who were involved in the modern-day weaponization of the government against me, Trump said in a post on his Truth Social site on Wednesday. He was given 2 life sentences plus 40 years. Ridiculous. Ulbricht ran Silk Road under the alias Dread Pirate Roberts, a reference to a character in the 1987 film The Princess Bride. The marketplace itself took its name from the historic trade routes spanning Europe, Asia, and parts of Africa. The site achieved notoriety through media reports and online chatter, but users could only access the site through Tor, a system that lets people use the web without revealing who they are or which country they are in. At least it was that at one point. I've heard that it's dangerous to use Tor because you've no idea who's controlling the nodes. Court documents from the FBI said that the site had just under 1 million registered users, but investigators said they did not know how many were active. Ulbricht was arrested in a San Francisco public library in 2013 in an elaborate sting operation, while allegedly chatting online with someone he thought was a colleague, but was in fact an undercover federal agent. The investigators have been through a painstaking process of piecing together the suspect's digital footprint. Sentencing Ulbricht, who had 2 college degrees, District Judge Catherine Forrest said he was no better a person than any other drug dealer. No, I wouldn't say that. Nobody died in his watch. Nobody was getting their knees broken over unpaid drug debt. Nobody was getting robbed because of the way that the site's escrow worked. And other, drug deals gone wrong, you hear about those all the time. Like, the way that he did it was safe. That's the argument. Everyone's like, yeah, but drugs are bad, okay? Yeah, okay. But however, if it was to be done, the way Ross Ulbricht was doing it was the way to do it. Nobody died. She said the site had been his carefully planned life's work. The judge noted the lengthy sentence also acted as a message to copycats that there would be very serious consequences, and none of it worked because right after Ulbricht went away, Silk Road 2 popped up, and Silk Road 2 was a little more liberal with what was allowed to be sold on there. And for some reason, Ulbricht was getting blamed for that. Everyone, yeah, there was literally CP and there was firearms, not in Ulbricht's one. Not on the original Silk Road. He didn't allow firearms. He didn't allow CP. None of that was on the original one. But Ulbricht, for some reason, keeps getting blamed for it. I wanted to empower people to make choices in their lives and have privacy and anonymity, Ulbricht said in his sentencing in May 2015. Despite the judge's hope that the sentence would act as a deterrent, I'm so sick of being sick. Bigger marketplaces similar to Silk Road emerged after its closure. Yep, because that's the way the market works. As soon as there's a little gap in the market, people will step in to fill it. Trump previously hinted that he planned to commute Ulbricht's sentence during a speech last year at the Libertarian National Convention while seeking to court votes ahead of the 2024 presidential election. The Libertarian Party had been advocating for Ulbricht's release and said his case was an example of government overreach, which I'm inclined to agree with. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie, a Trump ally, applauded the president's decision. Thank you for keeping your word to me and others who have been advocating for Ross's freedom, said the Kentucky lawmaker. And there we go, that's the end of it there. Right, in regard to Ross Ulbricht, right, as a libertarian, but drugs, yeah, but as a libertarian, right, if people want to fill their body with a bunch of poison, they can. They're a big boy and you're allowed to make your own big boy mistakes, right? That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. However, now, the way that Ulbricht went about it, nobody died, nobody got hurt, nobody got their knees broken, and also nobody was able to get themselves in crippling debt because the way the Silk Road works, no money, no drugs, right? They don't do tick. They don't. I forgot Americans won't know what tick is. The tick is where you like take drugs from your dealer with a promise of payment at a later date, and that's a recipe for disaster, especially with people that are hopelessly addicted. But I think it's a good thing. But the sentence was way over the top, and Ulbricht shouldn't have been arrested at all, because I think people should be allowed to put whatever shit into their body that they want. It's up to them. It's not up to you. Oh, but there's the knock-on effect of society. Society, you know. But yeah, there is that. But that's when it comes to like fentanyl. That's because there's no competition in the market, and instead of getting just some good old heroin, you get a bunch of shit that's laced up with fentanyl instead. And that's also the Chinese. All the fentanyl's coming from China via Mexico. Right, that's them that's doing that. But I'm just happy he's out. He's already done 11 years. He's out, and I did see a joke that said Donald Trump cruelly condemns a man to 20 years of libertarian podcast appearances, which, yeah, he's going to be doing the rounds. He's going to go around and do the rounds. Whether or not he's going to start up another Silk Road, I don't think so. I don't think he will. I think he's going to go, nah, fuck that. I'm not doing that again. Lesson learned. And I support what he done. I support the way that he did it, because basically he went out of his way to make sure that everyone was safe and that was as non-violent as possible, because as you've probably heard, the drug trade, pretty violent. Pretty fucking violent. But Ross Ulbricht did it in a way where nobody died. Nobody got hurt, nobody got their knees broken, no one got their home invaded, etc., etc. So the way that he did it was good. And I'm very, very happy that he's finally free. And I genuinely thought I would never see the day.